So let's break down some of those topical ingredients and then some of the common internal causes, because we all hear things like hormones and gut health. And as far as foods go, I think that dairy is a common one that people know, sugar, but there are some more hidden things. So maybe let's break down the external and the internal.
Yes, the internal. Okay, so there's diet. Internal is really important because even if your acne is, quote, hormonal, your diet impacts your hormones. Everything you do impacts your hormones. And that conversation is completely left out of most it's completely ignored in most conventional doctors' visits, right? The average physician gets between 11 and 20 hours of any nutritional education in their entire program. It's just not what our medical system focuses on. So people, go see their derm or their doctor about their acne. They're told it has something to do with hormones, and they have no other information or next step after that. What we know now is that our food impacts our hormones drastically. Sugar impacts our hormones. Sugar impacts our sleep quality, which then impacts our hormones. Hydration impacts our hormones. Dairy is an acne trigger because it contains certain hormones as IGF-1 hormones. So if we think that our food doesn't directly impact our hormones, we need to go back to step one and realize that food is the medicine and also the answer to a lot of these things.
I like to view it as a checklist. I like to say we do because we put our checklist out there all the time on social to remind people how to go through it. So if you're looking at the checklist in categories of, and let's start with internal, food, supplements, and overall stress on your body. So on the food side of things, and I'm going to preface by saying that all of this has context to it. I feel like, people love the sound bites where you're like, never have this and never have that. We are speaking in the context of acne. So someone that is really struggling with their skin, all of these foods that I'm going to list off contribute to acne for most people. And they are really the biggest internal food triggers for people struggling with acne. So if you're struggling with acne, this doesn't mean you can't ever have these foods again, but it is really helpful to remove in a bit of an elimination diet for a few months and then bring them back in one by one to see how your skin reacts. So dairy is at the top of that list. That is a huge trigger for people. And if people are already dealing with gut issues, dairy is just going to exacerbate it. So dairy is up there. The biggest thing to not forget about dairy, because some people think, oh, I'm not having milk or cheese. Whey protein, that is dairy. And colostrum. Colostrum has, taken the world by storm recently. It's a big new trend. Colostrum is dairy. So if you have removed dairy from your diet and you're still putting colostrum in your coffee or smoothie every single day, you are still adding dairy. So dairy is a big one. Eggs are the next one. Again, you don't have to give it up forever, but eggs really, really contribute to people's acne. And quality matters when it comes to what we're putting in our bodies. But as far as eggs go for acne, quality actually doesn't matter. You could be having the best pasture-raised, corn-free, soy-free, all the things, or you can have conventional. They're still going to contribute to acne from the egg perspective in a similar way.
It has to do with the type of protein.
Yeah, exactly. So you have eggs, you have dairy. Gluten is up there for people. This one really depends. Gluten is inflammatory, so it could contribute to people's acne. Some people get sinus issues. Some will get joint pain. Some will get eczema rashes. So gluten is an iffy one for people, but I always recommend it's something great to remove and just seeing how your body reacts to it. Processed sugars. So just taking an audit of everything you're eating on a daily basis. What is in your greens powder? What's in your protein powder? What's in the little bars that you grab when you run out of the house? And just seeing where you are maybe overdoing it with the processed sugars or even overdoing it with the sugar alternatives and just cleaning that area up a little bit. Another big one we've seen recently is overuse of stevia. So a lot more studies are coming out about stevia in high amounts, the impact it has on progesterone. It can serve as a bit of a progesterone blocker and has been seen in certain studies to act as a bit of a birth control for people. So overuse of stevia has actually even been contributing to some fertility issues. So it's definitely something to look at. I don't think stevia is a bad thing. It's just now in everything, it seems like. So how we were having stevia 10 years ago, 3 drops in coffee, it is now in every greens powder, protein powder, electrolyte powder. So it really is just overuse of stevia. And I would say the last one would be ashwagandha and chlorella and spirulina. So all of these can contribute to testosterone in different ways and have impact on your hormones. And it's more the overuse. By no means are these bad things. It is just the overuse in which people are having them in high amounts in certain powders. Again, you may see ashwagandha in a greens powder and a protein powder because it's a part of all these different complexes. So that's a bit of a checklist on the food side to go through, and then we can hit supplements next.
Yeah, a lot of people are taking supplements. I don't know anyone who isn't taking a stack of supplements, myself included. So there are 4 common ones that nearly everyone is taking that have a side effect on hormones that they weren't anticipating. And I see this all the time in my clinic. It's kind of surprising, but too much vitamin D. Most people are legitimately deficient. We need more sunshine. We absolutely do. It's critical. But when you take a high amount in supplement form because you were told you were deficient, that's when things go wrong. That's when you're getting like 6 to 8 times what you would normally get in a day. And if you don't have the right cofactors, it's kind of just building up with nowhere to go. That can spike testosterone and also interfere with a couple other enzyme processes, and it creates hormonal acne on the chin, right where you'd have a goatee. I always tell my clinic patients, dairy and D is where you'd have a goatee.
That's a good way to remember.
Literally. It's those 2 things 99% of the time.
Why in that spot? That's so interesting.
It's because we have really deep hair follicles there. It's right where you'd have a goatee if you were a guy. So yeah. And then the next hormonal spot is above the lip. And that is zinc is another supplement that every single year I see this during cold and flu season, and we really saw it during COVID. Everyone was taking a ton of zinc. You don't want to be deficient in it because that can throw your hormones off. But when you start supplementing with it, and it's a standalone zinc supplement, it generally has triple the amount you would normally get in a day. That can spike testosterone. And this is not like information that you can't easily go verify. Like, it's well known. It's just never put in this context for the acne consumer. So if you're taking a supplement for immunity or focus that has a lot of zinc in it, check the amount. If it's under like 150% RDV, you're probably fine. But if you're getting mysterious acne on your upper lip, it's definitely from that. If you notice that and it's in your supplements, that is what's causing it. Another supplement that causes hormonal acne is vitamin B12. It's in obscenely high amounts in a lot of different things. It's in energy drinks. It's in focus products. Anything that's marketed for like your brain or memory or focus is generally going to have a ton of B12. And it can be in doses. We've seen it as high as 80,000% RDV up to 275,000% RDV.
We've seen crazy
amounts.
In one dose?
In one serving of something. This was in a really intense prenatal. So yeah, and companies put that amount in there because it does give you energy. It can spike testosterone and like give you that energy boost that you want. It can also break you out like crazy right along your jawline. And you will be correct in thinking it's hormonal acne, and then you'll go to your derm and you get put on spironolactone, but really it's being caused by your B12. In my clinic, I advise my patients, if they're breaking out in that area, stop taking any supplement that has B12. Because especially if you're not like vegan, you're getting enough of it through your animal protein, right? And everyone's eating steak nowadays. So basically, if you have a supplement that has a ton of B12, stop taking it right now, and then give your body about a month and a half to detox it out, and you should watch your cystic acne on your jawline go way down. The other one that causes acne, not necessarily for a hormonal reason, but for a skin protein production reason, is biotin. Most people are catching on to this. I don't know. Do you think it's common knowledge that biotin can create acne?
Yeah, for sure. Yes. Okay. Yeah. And it's in so many hair growth products.
It's in all of them.
Like that. Yeah. Yeah.
And it'll be in, again, obscenely high amounts, like 10,000% RDV. And a lot of people start taking the Nutrafol for hair, and then they, DM us because they're breaking out. And we're like, it's because of the biotin. There are other things you can take for hair that don't do that and that are actually better for you. We may or may not be formulating that right now. But yeah, biotin's a huge one. So, just because it's for hair, skin, and nails, that doesn't mean it's going to help your acne. It just basically biotin can stimulate your keratin production, and hyperkeratin production is part of why we get acne in the first place. So that's why it's like gasoline on the fire.
Mm-hmm. It's so interesting because you listen to this and you can see how people get into the situation that they're in, thinking that they're being healthy and doing things that are good for their bodies. And really it's just fueling this issue.
Yeah.
Well, our bodies are so complex. It
Yeah.
might be really helpful for 2 or 3 chemical processes in the body, and it might have an unwanted side effect on another. Like nothing is 100% perfect for 100% of the people all the time.
When I met Danielle, like I viewed myself as really healthy. I was making egg bowls every single day for breakfast. I had a stack of vitamins I was taking, and I just didn't realize the nuances with acne. And it's just like, it's tinkering with a few of those things. It's auditing your supplements and then removing eggs, dairy, and gluten, if that's your choice, for a period of time.
Yeah, the elimination diet is huge. If you go and work with a naturopath or a functional medicine person, they're going to help you first and foremost by having you do elimination diets with those things anyway. So we're basically giving you like the first half of your functional medicine protocol right there. Eliminate dairy for, I think 2 months is like what they recommend. Dairy for 2 months, soy for 2 months, eggs for 2 months. And then they go down the list. They include like nuts and all that. But for acne specifically, it really is dairy and eggs that are really getting people. Gluten, I would say it's about 30% of people where that's their main trigger. It's not everyone, but it is the main trigger for about 30% of people.